Set of events, Maeve. A backbench Conservative MP achieved something which has been painfully elusive to Theresa May for the past few months. He actually commanded a majority in this House of Parliament here, behind the idea that it should be left up to MPs now to take control of the Brexit process and set the agenda about a way out of the current impasse. So tomorrow that process begins and MPs will start marking X's in a box about what way out they can get behind of this Brexit impasse. What do we know so far? Well, certainly in recent weeks, MPs have signalled that they will not allow Britain to leave the EU without a deal. And there has been no majority, though, for Theresa May's withdrawal agreement. So that leaves softer options on the table. So perhaps it is a customs union with the EU, or perhaps it's what people here are calling Common Market 2.0, effectively remaining within the single market. Now, the one further difficulty that there is that these votes will not actually be legally binding. And Theresa May has said that she couldn't put her support behind anything that she didn't stand on at the last election. But her critics would say, you know, a parliamentary majority is a majority. And at a time when she certainly hasn't got one, well, she wouldn't have much choice politically other than to fall behind it. But also, as Evelyn said there in her report, there is another chance that perhaps those hard Brexiteers who've been holding out for a harder Brexit so far and failing to support Theresa May's deal might ultimately see the writing on the wall and see that only a softer Brexit could be the way out of this, and it might convince them to get behind her withdrawal agreement, assuming they do get a third chance to vote for it.
Absolutely, Tadhg. And what does this all mean for Theresa May herself?
Well, it is another devastating illustration of just how little authority she commands in this House here. 30 of her own MPs voted against her, despite a last-minute plea for their loyalty. It included 3 ministers who, of course, subsequently had to resign, and a couple of very close political allies. One of those resigning ministers, Richard Harrington, said that he was turning against her because she'd been playing roulette with the lives and livelihoods of the vast majority of the people of this country by failing to rule out a no-deal exit. So what does it mean for the weeks and months ahead for Theresa May? Well, let's leave it now to 2 British MEPs to summarise their thoughts. Nerj Deva and Jude Curtin-Darling, who spoke to us on Raw Politics last night.
I think now Theresa May's days are probably numbered. I think the comments over the weekend have made it clear that she's... But the difficulty for lots of Conservatives is who follows Theresa May. There's so much division about who the future Prime Minister
You're talking on behalf
of
the Conservative Party now, which are rather...
I'm talking on behalf of the country, watching the absolute breakdown of the Conservative Party.
The country is recognising that members of Parliament are exercising their democratic representative role to protect what they think is the national interest. Now, there are some Conservatives who have one view, and other Conservatives who have another. So in the Labour Party, what is Mr. Corbyn's view, please? Can he get up and say what he believes in?